Hey guys, welcome back to Sparkman Homestead. My name is Krista. Today we're going to try a new canning project. Well, it's not a new canning project, it's a new recipe. It is called Christmas Jam. I have seen this posted on a couple of my canning websites that I'm on, as well as some of the people I follow on Instagram have posted this last year that they made this. So I thought cranberries are on sale right now. Now is the perfect time to try to make this jam. Plus, I kind of wanted to sit a little bit before the holiday season so that we can enjoy it for Christmas. So we are gonna try to make this jam today. I'm pretty excited about it because everything that I have read says that this jam is super delicious. So I'm looking forward to trying it. I will leave the recipe linked for you guys. This time I know where I got the recipe from. I printed it out, which I always do with all my recipes, but I actually put at the very top of the page where I acquired the recipe so that I could share it with you. So we need to get some cranberries and some oranges and some strawberries together. The other really cool thing about this recipe is I was comparing a couple of different recipes because there's quite a bit of different Christmas jam recipes out there. Most of them have an insane amount of sugar in them. This particular recipe that I was able to find actually only has 4 cups of sugar in it, which for a jam is usually not enough, but this recipe has it. So we're gonna use a low sugar pectin to make this jam. I am in my garage right now because we have to go into our deep freeze and try to see if we have any frozen strawberries. I'm hoping we do, because if we don't, then we're gonna have to go to the store and get some frozen strawberries. But I'm pretty sure I have some. Let's check. Oh no. Those were all the meatballs I made yesterday. I need to clean my freezer out. It is so full right now. We need to get some preservation projects started. Okay, just finished picking up meatballs all over my garage floor. Okay, so I think we do have some strawberries in here. And it's perfect because they're starting to get freezer burnt, so we need to use them. I had these vacuum seal bags and some of them weren't sealing very well, and I'm noticing that some of my stuff is starting to get freezer burn on it, so we gotta get it used. I think that might be enough. I have 3 packages of strawberries, a whole bunch of raspberries, which we could find something to do with raspberries, like a yummy Christmas dessert, like a raspberry cookie or something. I'm gonna research that. Maybe we can make it together. So we got our strawberries. I think what I'm gonna do is maybe after the Christmas season, because I know that I have a couple of things in there that I'm actually using for Christmas meals. Like I have a ham in there and I have a turkey in there, and plus for Thanksgiving. Also, we are eating a big turkey, so I think what I'll do after the holidays, maybe with you guys, and I'm saying this on camera so that I can actually commit to it, I think we'll do a big freezer clean out, and what we'll do is just kind of see what we all have in there, and then maybe make a couple of like make-ahead meals that we can can up. I have one project that I'm actually planning on doing with you guys next week, where it is 1 meal in a jar, and I'm really, really excited to experiment and share it with you. But today is everything kind of using cranberries, because we were able to find cranberries on sale at Walmart for $1.50. So I got these bags for $1.50 each. I have a little bit of cranberries left over in my freezer also that we're gonna get used up. So, cranberry day. That's what we'll call this, cranberry day. Okay, let's see how many strawberries we need. We need 16 ounces of strawberries. I'm gonna have to weigh them out just so that I know I have exactly the amount. Whenever you're canning, you really wanna make sure that you're doing exactly the measurements, because canning safe recipes, you need to abide by the measurements. I don't usually get willy-nilly with stuff when I am canning it. So we'll measure this out. It says you can use frozen, but if you are using frozen, make sure that you thaw them first. That is the same for cranberries. It also mentions to make sure you thaw them also first. So these ones are fresh, so we will use these ones. And then we need to get 1 orange, which I went and picked up a couple of oranges. Oranges are expensive right now. They are definitely not in season. I think at Walmart I paid, because Walmart is the closest grocery store to me. I live in a really small town just north of Nashville, and we have a Piggly Wiggly here and we have a Walmart. And we also have a IGA. That's the other store we have here. I don't go to IGA because it's one of those stores where at the till, and it's really weird. When I moved here, I had never heard of a grocery store doing this, but apparently this particular IGA does it, and there's numerous amounts that do it as well. It is, I think it's called priceless IGA. And what happens is the ticket price that you see when you buy it, so you know, like when you go into the grocery store, it has the price at the bottom, like the sticker, the price sticker tells you how much it is. Well, that is not the actual price that you pay. When you go to the till, they up it 10%. So every single thing that you buy there is going to be up priced 10%, which is too confusing for me because I'm the type of shopper that shops on a budget, and I like to know when I'm putting things in the cart. I kind of keep a running tally in my head, and adding 10% to everything is just honestly too much for me. So I don't shop there. I go to either Walmart or Piggly Wiggly, and it's usually Walmart because Walmart has a better, and it's like better by, I mean, it has a tiny little stand with like about 6 things of organic on it, and that's pretty much it in the store. Piggly Wiggly unfortunately has no organic options. I wish they did, but they don't. So the nearest grocery stores to me in order to get organic stuff would be either going into Nashville or going way up into Bowling Green. So I buy from Azure. Anyways, that's really off topic. I don't even know how we got there. So let's get everything together. Oh, the oranges, that's how we ended up there. So let's get everything together and then we will get this project started. First thing, weigh these out. I don't know if we should be weighing these frozen because they'll be a tad bit heavier. If we should like thaw them out a little bit first and then weigh them. I'm thinking that's probably what we'll do. We'll just put some in a bowl first and then thaw them out to get it on pounds. I normally have my thing set for grams because I use this to do my sourdough. Okay, there's 1 pound right in there. I'm wondering if we should double this recipe. Maybe not. Because I've never made it before and I don't want to make it and then not be like it, but what if I really love it? Should we double it? I don't know. I think we'll start with 1 right now because we have a lot of jam already in the pantry. Washing my hands here. That, and we're not really traveling for the holidays, so I can't really gift people with this stuff. Normally I like to gift people with some of my canned goods. Like if I go to visit my mom or something, I usually take her a whole huge basket of everything that I've canned up, but I will not be traveling this year. The kids are actually all coming to me this year, so I don't have to go and get them, which is great. No traveling, but I also don't get to gift stuff, and I love gifting people things. That's the problem when you live far away from family. Like my family all lives in Canada. Stephen's family, most of them live in California. So we're so far away from family here. So everything that I can and stuff, I mean, I guess I can gift it to some friends that we have here also. That might be a fun idea, making a couple little gift baskets for our friends here. We might do that project together. I am gonna get my apron on because I am wearing a white sweatshirt and I'm dealing with strawberries. So I do not want to get my sweatshirt all dirty. Also got an orange out and I washed it really, really well just because we are going to be using the peelings on it. So I want to make sure it was good and washed. And then I also got my food processor out. Okay, so we have the strawberries all thawed out. I'm going to keep this juice that's in here. This is really good for making my water kefir and my kombucha with. Don't want to waste that. You have to weigh out the cranberries. So it calls for 12 ounces or 3 cups. Let's those. You know what? Actually, I don't want to use frozen because These other ones are thawed. I have to worry about fixing them. There's 12 ounces. I have cranberries rolling everywhere. I'm gonna also rinse these. These put back in my freezer. I'm gonna pick out the bad ones. There's a couple of bad ones in this bunch. Also a couple of ones that were not picked when they were ripe. Just gonna get our orange zest before we peel it, or before we put it into segments. Easier to zest it when it's like this instead of small pieces. So the recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of orange zest, but it's been highly suggested that you put in more than 2 teaspoons. So we're just gonna zest this whole orange. Hopefully that's 2 teaspoons. Trying to get as much as this white stuff, or the perth, I think it's called, I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, as much of it off because it makes stuff bitter when you can with it. So that's about as good as we can get. Can't be too tedious with it. And we just have to put these into segments. Orange peels are really good to put into vinegar and use it as a cleaning solution. You can also use the orange peels and dehydrate them and use them as like flavoring for stuff. But because we took all the zest off, I'm not going to dehydrate these because we took a lot of the flavor off. I'm going to be cut off for a little bit here. I just want to show you guys what I'm doing. So we're going to take the cranberries that we washed and measured out, and we're going to put them into a food processor. And then we're going to take our orange segments and also put them into the food processor. Then it says to chop them coarsely. One thing the recipe actually mentions a couple of times is it says you are not trying to puree these. You need to make sure that they stay coarsely chopped. You do not want to have like a liquidy mush. You want to have them just coarsely chopped. Okay, so now we have to add the strawberries. We have them right here. They're pretty much already mushed because we thawed them out. We have some more of that good juice left over. So excited to make kefir with it this week. And then we're gonna put our orange zest in here. This is gonna smell so delicious in here. I'm almost just looking forward to making this jam just so that I can smell it. We're gonna add our spices now. We're gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of allspice. Righty, so we're just gonna lightly pulse this. Looking delicious, smelling amazing. Okay, we're gonna get everything kind of ready because like any jam recipe, everything just goes really, really quickly. So this is the pectin that we're gonna use. It's the low sugar kind. You can also use pomonas in this. I'm just trying to work through this stuff because I have a couple boxes of it before I switch to just using exclusively pomonas. So we'll get this out and ready. We are gonna measure out 1/2 cup of orange juice. You can use water in this as well, but based on the reviews that I've read, a lot of people commented that they used orange juice instead of the water and it tasted delicious. So we're gonna do that. And then we need to measure out 4 cups of sugar. I have to go and get more sugar from my gallon bucket. Perfect. I had just enough. So I'm gonna leave this out because I need to fill this up. I don't want to forget that I gotta fill that up. Okay, so we have everything ready. Let me get a spoon here. And I have a 8-quart stock pot here. So we are gonna add our fruit mixture. So that's our oranges, our strawberries, and our cranberries, our spices, and orange zest. So we're gonna add that all to this pot. Let's take out this sharp object before I cut myself with it. Did I mention yet that it smells amazing? I think I've mentioned it a couple of times. It really does. I love the smell of Christmas or Thanksgiving. Just holiday baking in general, I love it. Okay, and then we're gonna add our juice, or if you're using water, add your half a cup of water or juice. Stir that up. And it says here to stir the fruit pectin in and then add half a teaspoon of butter. Half a teaspoon. Okay, so let's get it on somewhat of a high heat here. So I'm just gonna stir in this juice first and then we'll add the pectin. And it just says to add the whole package. And the reason we're using half a teaspoon of butter, this is optional, you do not need to. It just helps with the foaming of the jam. Don't get as much foaming with it. Bring the mixture to a rolling boil over a high heat. So let's crank it up. And we will bring it to a boil. And then once it comes to a boil, like any jam recipe, we then need to pour in our sugar, stir that, bring it back up to a rolling boil, and then stir it for 1 minute. It goes very, very quickly. And you know what, guys? I need to stop what I'm doing right now because I do not have any of my jars prepped. That is the other thing that you also need to have prepped. I'm just gonna turn this off for 2 seconds while I get my water bath canner. What we're gonna do while we wait for these jars to heat up, because they need to be hot, because again, this comes together in a matter of minutes. So we're gonna heat them up. In the meantime, we are going to get stuff pre-prepped because we are also going to be making a white chocolate cranberry cookie today. My hopes with these cookies, and I've done this in the past with cookies, is I make a big batch and then I cook just a little bit of them and then I put the rest in the freezer and I flash freeze them. Hopefully I don't open the freezer and they all fall on the garage floor like the meatballs, but that's okay. That's I think only happened to me a couple of times. So we're gonna make a big batch of this cookie dough and then freeze most of it and just make a little bit for tonight's dessert. So we need to, actually, you know what? We can't even make this. I thought that you could use fresh cranberries in this and you actually need to get dried cranberries. And my dried cranberries are coming on my Azure pickup. You don't even have them. How can I work that? I'll figure it out. I still want to show you guys the recipe, and since we are having cranberry day, okay, I need to do some more research. I'll be back. Alrighty, our jars are pretty much heated up, so we can move on to the next step. I have decided what I am going to do with you guys is I am actually going to finish making this jam with you today, and then I am going to come back on Azure pickup day, and what we're going to do is we will do the Azure haul together, and then at the end of that Azure haul, I will show you guys that cookie recipe because I really, really want to get that cookie recipe in my freezer for having it over the holiday season, that I could just take them out and throw them in my oven and make a couple at a time. So that's what I've decided to do. We're gonna finish this stuff today and then we were gonna come back. Let's finish this jam now that these jars are hot. Now we're gonna turn this on to high. Now that it's been sitting here for about half an hour, it's probably not good. We'll get this to a boil and then we will add the sugar. I'm just gonna kind of keep stirring it because I don't want it to burn on the bottom because we have it on a high heat. And whenever anything's cooking at a high, I always worry about burn. Okay, we are at a boil. I had to switch to my jam spoon This is a really long spoon that I use so that I don't burn my hands when making this. We're gonna add the sugar now because we're at a pretty good boil. Ouch! Jam making is very dangerous. It's so hot. Okay, so we're stirring this sugar in and then we have to bring it back to a boil. Once it gets to a full rolling boil, so a boil that you cannot stir away, then we're gonna start the timer for 1 minute. That jam is really hot. Ouchie. I also turn my water bath canner down because it's boiling really hard and I don't want it to boil that hard. See how I'm able to stir the boil away so it's not to a full rolling boil yet. So I have my timer set now for the 1 minute because you see how hopefully you can see this steam is pretty bad, but I can't stir away those bubbles. So that is a full rolling boil. So we're gonna boil it for 1 minute. Okay, let's take it off the heat. Turn that element off. Get our jars out. I didn't know how many jars it was gonna make, so I just boiled a whole bunch of jars. I can't really see very much. Alrighty, let's get these in the jars. We need to leave a 1/4 inch headspace. We gotta debubble these. Then make sure that the head space is at a 1/4 inch, and then we will wipe the rims really clean and get them into our water bath canner. Some of these are filled a little bit too full. Have a little bit left, so we'll just put this into the fridge. Test it out. Got some white vinegar here. We're just gonna clean the rims off. Really good. They're so clumsy. My clumsiness is getting worse with my age, I think. Okay, let's put our lids on here. Get our rings, put them on fingertip tight. Bring this back up to a boil and then we will start the timer for 10 minutes. So we have all of the Christmas jam done. That recipe that I followed made 6 half pints. So you can hear them popping already. Yay, super excited. So like I had mentioned earlier, I will come back with you guys when it is Azure pickup day. I'll do the haul with you and then we will get those cookies made because I really want to get those in my freezer. Anyways, I will see you guys back for the Azure pickup day. Okay, we just got home from the Azure pickup. Now, I know I told you guys I was gonna do the haul with you, but I actually am going to do it on a separate video, and that will come out next week. I realized when I was editing the first part of this video when we were making that jam together, that this video is going to be way too long with me including that haul in it. Plus, we went to an Amish salvage store, like a scratch and dent store, so I included that little haul with the Azure one. So that will be next week's video. But we did pick up the cranberries, which we were waiting for, so I'm super excited. So we are gonna get started on making these cookies. I am gonna first go upstairs and put some jogging pants on because I'm wearing jeans and I can only wear jeans for so long before my body is like, you need some comfort. I work from home, so I am 100% not used to wearing jeans. I am very much a jogging pant and nice warm hoodie kind of girl. So I'm gonna go upstairs, put some jogging pants on or sweatpants, whatever you call them, and we will come back and we will finally get these cookies started. I cannot wait. I got all of the stuff already. I got my butter out, coming to room temperature. I took it out this morning, but my house is honestly so cold that this is still not super soft, but oh well. Okay, I have my jogging pants on. I am nice and comfy. Like I said before, I just love being comfortable. And I'm comfortable with you guys to see me in jogging pants. I'm not worried about it. I read this really funny statement about butter. It said that you can always determine the weather by how soft or hard your butter is. If your butter is melted and it's nice and soft, that means it's t-shirt weather. You're good to wear a t-shirt. If your butter is hard and cold, that means it's sweater weather. You need to wear a sweater. That's how I determine the weather in my house, is by my butter. So this butter is somewhat softened. So we have our oven preheated at 350 degrees. Thinking I should probably put an apron on though. Okay, so what we're gonna do with this recipe is we are actually only gonna cook a small amount of it. The majority of it is going to go into our freezer, and we are going to hope that I do not open the freezer and have them fall everywhere. I can't believe that happened. So frustrating. Alrighty, let's get started with this. So I have a small bowl here, and we need to combine the flour, baking soda, and salt. I will leave this recipe linked for you guys. It's the first time I'm making it, so we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so in here we need to add 1.5 cups of flour. And I am gonna bring you guys down so you can see better. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Just crush this up. The reason I use this thing is because my baking soda is really, I don't know if you can see it, it's really, really clumpy in here. So I use this to make sure I don't have clumps of baking soda, because that is not fun to bite into a piece of baking soda. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Give that a quick stir. We'll set that aside. Okay, to our mixer. It says if you do not have a stand mixer, you can use a hand mixer as well. You don't necessarily need to do this in this. I am doing this because it is way easier to do it with the stand mixer. Okay, so we have 1/2 cup of butter here. Again, you want to get it as soft as you possibly can. This, I honestly took this out at 6 o'clock this morning, I think, and it is still not super soft. 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar. The recipe does say make sure it is fresh and soft, and make sure you really pack it into the measuring cup. And then 1/4 cup of white sugar. I'm just using a organic cane juice. Organic evaporated cane juice, I think that's what it's called. Okay, and so now we need to cream this together, and it says cream it for 2 minutes. It's been about 2 minutes. We're just gonna scrape down the sides, and then we are gonna add our extracts. This would get a lot more fluffier if that butter was softer. You find that when you get texture like this, it's because your butter was too cold. When you have a nice soft butter texture, you get a really nice fluffy, creamy sugar brown, like a sugar butter mixture, but cold butter. Okay, so we are going to use, it says 3/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. We're just gonna up it to a teaspoon because you can't go wrong with vanilla. Love it. And then you want to use 1/4 teaspoon of a almond extract. And then you want to use 1 egg. Look at this egg. I don't know if it's gonna pick up or not. You see all the little speckles on it? I love my chicken's eggs. They're so pretty. So we're gonna use 1 egg. It says 1 large egg. We're gonna beat this until it's combined. Okay, now we need to slowly add in the flour mixture. So we're gonna add 3/4 cup of a white chocolate chip. And then 3/4 cup of a dried cranberry. This is the cranberries that we're gonna use. These are the ones that I just picked up from Azure Standard that we had to wait for. Hopefully they'll be worth the wait. I could have definitely easily gone to Walmart and picked up some cranberries, but I really honestly just wanted to wait until I got these ones. So we're gonna add 3/4 cups of these. See what they look like. Beautiful. Nice and big. These ones are apple infused, so they're just delicious. They're like candy. They're like candy. Really, really good. Oh, I could definitely snack on those. They come in like a little plastic bag, so they're not in the paper bag. I'm gonna store these in a mason jar. I have a whole bunch of stuff I gotta put away still from my Azure order, but I wanted to come and show you guys this so that I could get the video out for you tomorrow. So we're just gonna lightly stir this until it is literally just all combined. Like that. Righty, so we're gonna scoop some out and cook them right now. This is the cookie scoop that I'm using. It doesn't have, this is all it, I don't know if it's gonna pick it up. This is all it says on it. There's no size on it. I think I picked this up from a Amish, like an Amish store. So I don't know exactly what size it is. But this recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of the batter. This is what the batter looks like. It tastes delicious. I know, I ate some and I know it has raw egg in it and you're not supposed to do that, but it's cookie dough and it's delicious. So, confession, but that's okay. I only had a little tiny bit. I'll wait until the rest of the cookies are done. And I washed my hands. Okay, so let's get a couple of cookies on the cookie sheet. We're gonna do this, I'm thinking this is about 2 tablespoons. So we'll cook maybe 6 for tonight for dessert, and then the rest we are going to put on this cookie sheet. I'm gonna put some parchment down on it, and then we're gonna put that in the freezer and then flash freeze these. So I think I did mention it already at the beginning, but my oven is preheated at 350 degrees. Probably don't need such a big cookie sheet for this. I'm just squishing them down a little bit. And then some of them have a lot of cranberries in them and some of them for some reason don't have enough. The recipe says that you can take little white chocolate chips and put them on top of here. It also says a really fun garnish would be to sprinkle some flake salt on top of these as well, but we're gonna not do the salt. Okay, so these cookies have to cook for 9 to 12 minutes until the edges begin to turn golden brown and the center is still slightly undone. There is a little note at the bottom of the recipe and it does say that you really do want to take them out when they look like they are underdone. You do not want to wait until they get really crispy. So that is, I guess, the key to getting the right cookie. It just keeps stressing, make sure not to over bake them. So we will set the alarm as I'm standing here talking to you for 12 minutes because my oven tends to cook a little bit longer. And then we're just gonna put them on a wire rack and cool. So that is them, and I'm gonna get them all put in the freezer. So that is gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It spanned a couple of days and we did get to make the yummy cookies together. So I will come back and show you what they look like coming out of the oven. But I just wanna say thank you guys so much for watching. It does mean a lot to me. And I hope you have a great day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you on the next video. Bye guys.